Good evening, welcome to World News. I am Wisdom Onyisi. First, the headlines. 30 officials retired as President Tinubu declined service extension. Trump's win a chance for U.S. to reassess wrong policy, says Iran. Israeli strikes kill at least 40 in East Lebanon. And on sport, 7 Nigerian stars out of action with injury. Now the news in details. No fewer than 30 top officials will be retiring alongside the clerk to the National Assembly, Magaji Tambawa. Based on parliamentary practices, Tambawa began his pre-retirement leave on November 1st, 2024, having handed over to his deputy, Kamaruddin Ogudele. Tambawa, who was first appointed acting clerk to the National Assembly in November 2022 and later confirmed in March 2023, will turn 60 in February 2025. Although he officially retires in February, he will not be actively involved in any assignment or task from the commencement of his pre-retirement leave till when he officially vacates the office. According to report, prominent staffers of the National Assembly who would also be leaving are the clerk to the Senate, Chinedu Akabueze, the deputy clerk to the Senate, and the deputy clerk of the House of Representatives. Away from that, we'll have you know that federal government has approved the establishment of a teaching hospital in Akure, Ondo State, to support the training of medical students at the Federal University of Technology Akure, Futa. President Bola Tinubu has directed the Ministers of Health and Social Welfare, Mohammed Bate, to initiate the necessary arrangement for the establishment of the teaching hospital. Mohammed Bate has since dispatched a team to Ondo State to assess the location. Leading the team, Jimo Olawale Salodin, Director of Hospital Services at the Federal Ministry of Health, inspected Futa's permanent site designated for the hospital. Salodin also visited Akure Honors of the University of Medical Sciences Teaching Hospital, which will serve as a temporary site for the teaching hospital. Rivers State is gearing up to host an extraordinary session of the Economic Committee of West African State Parliament, marking a significant moment for a state which has been experiencing a political crisis for over a year. The section planned for February 25 will mark the first time this Assembly of West African legislators is hosted in southern Nigeria. As part of activities for a successful event, an inspection team arrived in Port Harcourt to evaluate the readiness of Obiwali International Conference Center in Port Harcourt, the proposed venue for the event. The team, led by the First Repertoire Committee of Political Affairs, Peace, Security and African Peer Review Mechanism, and the member representing the Andoni Opobo Nkoro Federal Constituency in Nigerian's House of Representatives, Awaji, Lung Abiante. Now, when we return, news from other parts of Africa. Stay with us. Welcome back. Now news from other parts of Africa. A series of African leaders have congratulated Donald Trump on winning the U.S. presidential election. They include the president of Guinea-Bissau, Umaru Sissoco Embalo, who said he was looking forward to bustling ties between the two nations and added, "May this new mandate bring peace and progress." Similarly, the Democratic Republic of Congo's President Felix said he was looking forward to collaborating with America in the coming years. In a post on X, Felix said he was ready to deepen the strategic partnership between the two nations. Nigerian Bola Tinubu has also expressed his willingness to work with the newly named president, proposing that the two nations can foster economic cooperation, promote peace, and address global challenges together. Away from that, we'll have you know that Prince William visited the South African president on Tuesday, 5th November, following a stroll with conservationists and rangers at Table Mountain National Park. In a statement, the South African president described William's trips to the country as indicative of a strong ties the United Kingdom, including the royal family, share with South Africa, and also another step towards the deepening of these historic ties. The Prince of Wales is visiting South Africa several days for the award ceremony of his annual Earthshot Prize. Conceived 4 years ago, the prize seeks to find innovation to tackle climate and other environmental problems. Now we move to other parts of the world after this break. Please stay with us. Welcome back. Now news from other parts of the world. U.S. President Joe Biden will give address to the nation today, vowing a peaceful transfer of power to Donald Trump after his political nemesis scored a crushing election win over Kamala Harris. In what promises to be an agonizing moment for Biden, he will speak in the Rose Garden of the White House at 11 a.m. Nigerian time to discuss the election results and the transition to Trump's second term. The 81-year-old dropped out of the race against Trump in July and handed the Democratic nomination to Vice President Harris, but is now likely to see his legacy dismantled by the Republican standing comeback. Away from that, Germany's governing coalition has collapsed after Chancellor Olaf Scholz fired a key minister and said he would call a vote of confidence in his government early next year. The chancellor said he had no trust in Finance Minister Christian Lindner, who heads the pro-business Free Democrats and has been part of coalition along the school's Social Democrats and the Greens. The move means Scott's government no longer has a majority in parliament. The confidence vote could lead to early election by March. Scoots said his former finance minister had betrayed his confidence and had put the interest of his party base over those of the country. He added that Germany needed to show it could be relied upon by other countries, particularly following the election of U.S. President Donald Trump in the U.S. Away from that, where we have you know that at least 40 people were killed in Israeli strikes in eastern Lebanon on Wednesday, according to the Lebanese Health Ministry. An Israeli official said the strike in the areas of Baalbek and Bekaa targeted operatives of the Iran-backed armed group Hezbollah. Lebanon's culture minister said one of the strikes also seriously damaged an Ottoman era building in the vicinity of the Roman ruins in the city of Baalbek, which is a UNESCO heritage site. Israeli strike also hit southern Beirut on Wednesday after the IDF issued evacuation warnings. The ministry said it struck Hezbollah command centers, weapon stocks, and other infrastructure. A later IDF warning covered 4 neighborhoods in the southern Beirut, including an area near Lebanon's international airport, which has continued to operate despite Israel's airstrike on the capital city. Up next is business. Please stay with us.
This is Hillstv.
Welcome back. Now to business news. Power distribution companies in Nigeria have announced an increase in the price of various electricity meter model, marking the second price hike in 4 months. Power consumers kicked against the development, describing it as wicked, considering the economic hardship nationwide currently. According to the discourse, the cost of a single-phase meter has risen from approximately 117,000 naira to as much as 149,800 naira. These amounts indicate an increase of 28.3% or 32,800 naira depending on the distribution company and metal vendor. The new prices posted on the official X handle of the discourse on Wednesday were scheduled to take effect on Tuesday, November 5th, 2024. It also reflects the deregulation of meter assets provider as directed by the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission. Away from that, we will have you know that Ghana's crude oil production has seen a significant return to positive outcome in the first half of the year as production surpasses that of the same period last year. There has been 55.6% increase in revenue received for the period as a result of higher production, which recorded over 10% increase. In financial terms, Ghana received $840.7 million in the first half of the year, as against $540 million in the same period last year. We also have you know that interest rates are widely expected to be cut by the Bank of England on Thursday in a move closely watched by businesses and consumers. Most analysts predict that the benchmark rate will fall from its current level of 5% to 4.75% when the decision is announced. That would make borrowing money cheaper, but it's likely to reduce the terms available to savers. The bank's monetary policy committee meets 8 times a year to set rates. Later in the day, the U.S. Central Bank, the Federal Reserve, will also publish its latest interest rate decision. It will come just a day after Donald Trump won the presidential race. Now, still to come is sport. Stay with us. Welcome back. Now, sport news. Nigerians representatives in the 2024 CAF Women Champions League Edo Queens FC of Benin City departed the country for Casablanca, Morocco at the 10 minutes past 5 a.m. this morning ahead of the competition scheduled to start on November 6th and run through November 23, 2024. The Nigerian champions arrived in Lagos on Wednesday and traveled to the following day with a promise to lift the trophy. They are lost in group alongside Mamelodi Sundowns of South Africa, Egypt's FC Marseille and CB Eel of Ethiopia, and open their campaign against the Ethiopians on November 10th at Labi Zaoli Stadium in Casablanca. Still on sport news, the injury crisis plunging Nigerian footballers globally has deepened, with 7 stars currently on the treatment table, dealing a blow to both their clubs and national teams' aspiration. Report highlights these key players and their recovery timelines. West Brom's defense stalwart Semi Ajayi faces a 4-month layoff following surgery on a severe hamstring injury sustained during their goalless draw against Cardiff City. The injury rules Ajayi out of Nigerian crucial AFCON 2025 qualifier against Benin Republic and Rwanda this month, dealing a blow to coach Austin Eguavon defensive plans. Still on sport news, we have you know that Neymar will be sidelined for between 4 and 6 weeks after a scan revealed that the Brazil forward had suffered a hamstring tear. His club, Al Hilal, confirmed on Wednesday. The 32-year-old lasted just 26 minutes as a second-half substitute before limping off with an aberrant right hamstring strain in the Monday 3-0 AFC Champions League Elite win over Esteghlal. Neymar, who moved to Saudi Arabia from Paris Saint-Germain in a lucrative deal in 2023 had been out for more than a year following right knee surgery until last month. Al Hilal coach George Jesus said earlier this week that Neymar would miss at least 2 weeks of training following his latest injury setback. And that's your sport news on What News. Now we move to the rest of the news after this break. Stay with us. Welcome back. Now the rest of the news. Iran on Thursday called Donald Trump's victory in the U.S. presidential election as opportunity for the United States to reassess past wrong policies. Trump, who is set to return to the White House in January after defeating U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris on Tuesday's election, had pursued a maximum pressure strategy on Iran during his first term. Iran and the United States have been adversaries since the 1979 Islamic Revolution, which overthrew the Western-backed Shah, but tensions peaked during Trump's first term from 2017 to 2021. And that's What News. But before we go, here are the headlines once again. We told you that 30 Nigerian officials retire as President Tinubu declined service extension. We brought to you that Trump's win, a chance for U.S. to reassess wrong policies, says Iran. Israeli strikes kill at least 40 in East Lebanon. And on sport, we brought to you that 7 Nigerian stars out of action with injuries. Remember to visit us on Facebook at Hillstv Abuja, Instagram at Hillstv Abuja, and subscribe to our YouTube channel at Hillstv. I am Wisdom Onisi. Thanks for watching.